Welcome back. Well, we're counting down to the official close of the polls, those, of course, that opened on time this morning at 7 a.m. Meanwhile, the IEC Western Cape says it will follow up on reports that in Wellington, voters were separated by race. The rain has also played its part in voting today, and some stations have run out of ballot papers. Let's cross to Lindsay Dentlicker for more on that. Lindsay, good evening to you. What is the situation in the Western Cape at the moment?
Good evening, Siki. Well, as you said, inclement weather did have some effect on people going out to polling stations, but the weather did clear up during the day, and the IEC here at the Provincial Results Centre saying they're quite happy with the voter turnout for this time of the day, and that they were just hoping that those who didn't turn out earlier this morning would still make their way to voting stations before they close this evening, hoping that more rain that might be on the way and darkness in many areas where these polling stations are located wouldn't affect people still making use of this last push to vote before the polling stations officially close.
So in the situation with Wellington, have we heard from the IEC at all what they plan to do about that, and whether or not those reports were actually accurate about what happened there?
Siki, we are awaiting official media briefing in a little while, just after polling stations close, but just word on the floor, initial calls being put through by the IEC to establish the veracity of the claims being made in Wellington is that it's not a racial incident, and rather that people who were not registered to vote at that particular voting station were separated, asked to stand in a separate queue so that they could fill out a special form that's required should you turn up at a voting station where you're not registered to vote. Other people saying, not buying that story, saying at other polling stations where that's the case, everybody is still standing in the same queue. But certainly for now, that's the initial explanation that's been given for the reason why people were separated in two different queues, those who are registered to vote at that particular polling station and those who weren't.
It's our reporter on the ground in the Western Cape, Lindsay Dentlicker, giving us an update on what's been happening there. There were issues around weather, issues around ballot papers that ran out, and of course that incident in Wellington. We're still waiting.